Hey everybody, it's Walk Talk 21 back here again with you for one more video tonight. Hope you all have had a great night or having a great night wherever you are. And I haven't really made a football video in a while, so I'm going to do that here. So the draft is coming up soon for my Chicago Bears, and this is going to be kind of my outlook and what I think will happen this year in the draft and in the actual season. Now, being a Bears fan is hard. You know, every year they get their expectations up and then they just end up completely deflating and not going anywhere. You look at our schedule this year, we play the traditional NFC North opponents, we play the AFC East. I think we play the NFC West, whoever was last in there, I think it was San Francisco. We play the Giants, I know, and I forget who else. I'm trying to remember who was last in the South. I think it was Tampa Bay. And it's kind of funny to me because I look at the schedule and I say more than likely we might beat the Dolphins because they have Jay Cutler. And it's kind of funny, they have Jay Cutler and we have Mitchell Trubisky. And, normally Chicago tends to beat these weaker teams. Like, they'll beat, like, Buffalo and they'll beat the Jets. And they'll beat teams like, Tampa Bay. Yet when they play the good teams like New England, Green Bay, Minnesota, they don't even show up at times, and it's frustrating to me because I feel like Chicago could be something. I feel like we could be an 8 or 9 win team. Now, I'm gonna say this out front. No, we're not winning the Super Bowl. No, I know that we're not winning the NFC North. That's not even my goal this year. My expectation this year is just get 6 wins, have like a 6-10 season, maybe 7-9. Even 5 wins to me would be a success, after how disastrous last year was. But it's strange to me that at times, our offense will show up and they'll play amazing. I remember the game last year against Pittsburgh. We won a game that I didn't even expect us to win. I thought we would get blown out, and we actually show up and play a complete game against Pittsburgh. And I remember Cleveland. We beat Cleveland too. And I think we won 2 more games. I forgot who they were. I think it was the Bengals. And I think it was Baltimore. I think all we beat was the AFC North teams. And we played complete games in all those games. But then against everybody else, we had no signs of life. We would go down, we would get blown out. And it was frustrating at times. I was one of the few people. I'm glad we have Mitchell Trubisky because he was somebody that I wanted. It was better than Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was one of the worst things the Bears ever did. I don't know why we wasted our time with this guy. And I know that there's people in the city that will say, well, Jay Cutler was a good quarterback. He got us to an NFC championship game. Okay, that's true. But looking back at that season that Cutler was in there, even if we had beaten Green Bay and he had stayed in the game and hadn't gotten hurt, we were not beating Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. There was no chance that we were ever going to do that. And my issue with the Bears begins with the offense at times. We need to address the offense and the defense. There are times when the offense is sleeping. It doesn't show up in games. We'll maybe go out there one week and score 21 points. And the next week we'll only score 7. Mitchell Trubisky, this is his second year. And I'm going to take a detour here and talk about the draft really quick. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't feel like we should draft a quarterback. And the reason I say that is one simple reason. Is that Mitchell Trubisky's our second-year starter, and he seems to be a long-term future. If we're going to draft Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, then what was the point of drafting Mitchell Trubisky if you're just going to push him aside after that season? Would I like one of those guys? Absolutely, but I feel like Trubisky's our guy. We might as well go with him, see what he can do, see what he can give us, and if it doesn't work out in a few years, then we can go back to the drawing board and win, or see what we can get for another quarterback. But I'm willing to give Trubisky a chance. I feel like at least he deserves it after all those frustrating years with Jay Cutler, where Jay Cutler couldn't do anything, and Jay Cutler was so bad. But, it's just, like I said, with our offense, at times our offense will play, and then there are times that they won't play. And it's frustrating to watch because literally game by game, I don't know what they're going to do. And our defense is atrocious. When we had John Fox couldn't run a defense. He was out there trying to drop schemes. This wasn't Peyton Manning. Okay, all you Bears fans, this was not Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, even his last year was bad, he had a great defense around him. This Bears defense, it didn't matter how good Mitchell Trubisky was. Our defense couldn't even bail him out most of the time. We get like an early lead, and then the defense would just stop playing in the second half. Which leads me to another interesting point here. Why did we start Mike Glennon for like 3 games last year when we had Trubisky? I am so baffled as to why we thought it was a good idea to start Trubisky or Glennon for 3 games. I was like, but Chicago, you have a rookie quarterback and you're not going to use him? I didn't understand that. And I was happy to see John Fox go. I hope that Mike Nagy comes in and reinvents the offense. I don't know what I think of Mike Nagy. I feel like he could be a good head coach, but then again, I don't know what he did with Kansas City, and I really hope he's a good head coach because I like Lovie Smith. He was fantastic. Mark Trestman was awful, and John Fox was decent, but the problem that Chicago mostly has is our ownership. They seem to think that, well, we can win every given year because we're the Bears. Well, Chicago, you need to start playing offense, and you certainly need to start playing some defense out there. I just want to watch back-to-back games where they're consistent. They never are consistent, and that's where my frustration is. For example, I think this year, we can beat Buffalo. I feel like we could beat the Jets. We could probably beat the Giants and the Buccaneers. But, like, when we play a team like the Patriots, are we going to show up against New England, or are we just going to show up for half a game and then completely die off in the second half? Or are we just not going to show up in the first half and then show up in the second half? I don't know. Which is why, to me, 5 to 6 wins seems like a decent goal this year. I feel like it's obtainable. And if that's what we can get, I'm content with it. Because I know that this team's not winning the NFC North. And I give credit to the NFC North teams like the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. They have good teams. They build through the draft. They get great players. Chicago doesn't want to do that. We don't want to spend money on players. We could have had Jarvis Landry. We didn't want to spend money on Jarvis Landry. We could have, but Chicago, once again, doesn't want to spend money that they have because that's not how Chicago is. And it's just frustrating at points. So, people ask me, well, what would you do in the draft? I don't know what I'd do in the draft. I would probably get some offense and some defense. I don't know how many picks we got, but I would certainly first try to show up the defense because it doesn't matter how good your offense is. If your defense doesn't show up, you're not winning anything. And once we get the defense, showed up, then we can focus on the offense and building around Trubisky. I would have liked Jarvis Landry. On a side note, I would have liked him. But, we didn't get him because we never do. So, like I said, my expectation this year, 5-6 wins. Finishing last again in the NFC North. I would love to see a Super Bowl, but being a Bears fan, I know that that's probably out of the question. I don't know if we'll ever win one. I just want to see the team get back in the playoffs, and I'm willing to give Mike Nagy a chance. Welcome to Chicago. Hope you do well. Hopefully Mitchell Trubisky has a great sophomore season. Hopefully I just want us to be competitive this year. That's all I want. I just want a competitive team where I can sit down and at least say, this team is trying. There have been many seasons where it was hard to watch because the team didn't even seem like it cared most days. I just want this year, Chicago. Just try, okay? Just be in every game. Make them close. If you lose by a couple points, I'm okay with that. But just make the games competitive. Make it seem like you care. That's all I'm asking. Can you do that for me, please? If you do, I'd be so happy. So, I don't really know what else to say, but that's my outlook with the Chicago Bears this year. I hope that the ownership group gets their act together and actually starts doing what I recommend because, we need to build defense and offense. And be sure to subscribe to Walk Talk 21 for more great videos on my teams, video game stuff, and other stuff. And if you agree with what I said or don't agree, leave a comment. I read all my comments even though I don't respond to all of them. I appreciate the feedback of what people say. They may not like it, but I just say what I think. So, take care, y'all. Have a great night. And look forward to talking with you again. And be sure to subscribe to Walk Talk 21. Thanks.